Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. This is your host, Proud Lame, certified beta male, simmer and giant, whatever it is, no game. The socially awkward nerd, Christian Paul, speaking at your service. This following episode contains graphic content that could be uncomfortable to some viewers, that could be like disheartening, not safe for work, that type of ordeal. It could offend some viewers in some way, without any intent at all. It could be strong language, it could be basically strong graphic scenes, however it may be. There will be an E that's actually placed onto the top label up on the YouTube set, and it can basically require either viewers for either minimum 13 up, or in some cases, depending on YouTube's policy, it could be 18 up or however it may be. Please take notice before we get on with the presentation. Alright, viewer discretion advised. Now let's get back.
Yeah, if that's almost tight on him, you're fucked. You got no chance of that.
Yeah, no way.
As if it's gonna fucking ruin it on the shirt with that one.
$20?
$20, man. Come on, I fucked your daughter.
$20.
Oh, fucking aesthetic, bro.
That shirt out.
This guy's on shit, bro. Fuck. What are you on, man?
Everything.
I'm not even popping some dudes.
Fuck. What are you?
Wait, pop that on, man. Pop that shirt on. Wear that shirt on.
What gear are you on, bro?
You need a fucking t-shirt, apparently.
God. I was fucking divorcing.
Mr. Lats.
Look at his back.
Holy crap.
Look at his back.
I don't even understand what's going on here, man.
Fuck.
Wait, Oz, how many shirts have you ruined? Honestly.
Look at this. I'll put this shit on YouTube, 1 million hits in around 20 minutes.
Does it fit?
Oh, stolen, man. That fucking matches your jeans.
That looks mad, bro. Hey, that looks mad. You look the missing. Oh, get the fuck. Don't button up. Don't button up. That's it. That's it. Oh, if I was a guy, I'd so root you, bro. Fuck.
Fuck, that's aesthetic as fuck.
Fucking that's aesthetic as fuck.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll pay for it.
Hey, as that fucking shit looks mad, bro.
That's fucking sick.
Seriously, hey, don't give it back, man.
That is tight as fuck. Oh, you look like you're on vacation or some shit.
He's in Hawaii. Fuck, what gear are you on, bro? Hey, seriously, Az, you look fucking mad, bro. That shirt, don't give it back to him. That looks mad, bro.
That looks
I swear to God.
sick.
Andrew, yeah, that's it.
Juicy! Juicy! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Chronicles. Alright, this is your host, Proud Lane, socially awkward nerd with no game, Christian Paul, literally up in the building. Right, so I'm gonna try and keep the noise down because I got a little baby. Not my baby, but my nephew is literally next door, literally sleeping, so I gotta try and make sure I keep the noise down for a bit. We have a quick example of the Roided iron pumper, as you see here. Basically, quote unquote, the god of bodybuilding, powerlifting, aesthetics, up in the fitness industry, high level cult following that a lot of fitness worthy enthusiasts basically follow up in these social media streets. Zyzz, right? So I want to try and use Zyzz as like a good example of him being the Roided iron pumper. That does not mean that Zyzz is a bad person or whatever it may be. He actually, I can understand why Zyzz is like a very huge figure up in like the fitness industry and all that other stuff, based on the motivation that he gives. And we're gonna actually dig deep into his story on how he came to be and his unfortunate tragic ending and what we all can do and what we can all learn from this whole ordeal, right? So Zyzz, Zyzz Subversian, basically he's of Russian descent, right? So he's of Russian descent, ended up coming by, residing in Australia basically the majority of his life. Basically he would have been 33 today, if I'm not mistaken, because he was born in 89, right? Mainly we know who he is. March 24th, 1989 is his birth date, right? and he's basically of Kurdish descent that was born in Russia, so he's basically Middle Eastern, right? He's the youngest son of Mayan Boyne, who works in cardiology, and Sergei Seversian, right? And he does have one older brother, said, who's also in the bodybuilding industry as well, and getting hit with the juice, which basically mainly goes by chest bra, if you know what I'm saying, right? 4 years later, after Zyzz's birth, the family moved to Australia, basically raised in New South Wales, and attended Marist College Secondary School, where he achieved the Dux. And if I'm not mistaken, what the Dux is, basically the Dux is basically the leader of, basically it's like going into being the valedictorian in the high school. That's basically what a Dux is, right? Now, prior to his tragic passing in August of 2011, he was set to graduate from the University of Western Sydney with a degree in business and commerce, right? So Zyzz is one very smart dude, and he's one very smart individual, and he's extremely nerdy. I always take note of that. It's like keyword nerd, right? This here's the Nerd Chronicles, right? And we're here to actually chronologize examples of certain nerds and how they elevated into the positions that they are in now. Now, when it comes to the bodybuilding, right? Before becoming a bodybuilder, Zyzz has been described as like a very skinny kid. Again, he was a nerd, right? And he's ectomorphic, and people don't know what ectomorph is. Basically, it definitely dictates on the somatotype that they determine, like what type of human physique that you're on. So ectomorph is basically one of those types. Is basically ectomorph is basically like a body type in which that person struggles to actually gain weight per se. Snoop Dogg has that type. Another good friend of mine that works at work, he also has that body type as well, right? So once he completed secondary school, high school, inspired by chest bra here, he joined the local gym and began learning about nutrition and training, applying it to the pursuit of becoming a bodybuilder. Spending 3 to 4 hours a day training in the gym, and he idolizes Arnold Schwarzenegger as well as Frank Zane, right? Who is a lethal bodybuilder, right? Now, he did an interview with SimplyShredded.com in which Zyzz recalled that he wanted to become a bodybuilder to basically become a cookie moisturizer. Cookie moisturizer! Possibly a cookie monster, right? Because he was teased in school, he was disrespected, he was miscalculated, he was misjudged, all that stuff. He was overlooked. So I could deeply understand why he would feel this way, right? And Zyzz said he would look at pictures of shredded bodybuilders and tell himself that he would one day be like them, right? 4 years into that, and he said that I could safely say my motivation to train goes far beyond that of merely impressing people. It has arrived from the feeling of having set goals and achieving them and outdoing myself up in the gym. Absolutely love it. The feeling of pushing out that last rep and getting skin tearing pumps is something I don't see myself without, right? This dude does not care what nobody thinks at that point on. So Zyzz was the poster boy of a subculture of amateur bodybuilding in Australia, which dubs aesthetics, which he made very popular over the years, over the last decade. When he developed his own protein label, Protein the Gods, which was released in June of 2011, in which he developed his own clothing line, as well as Zyzz Bodybuilding Bible, which was released the month before in 2011, that based on a compilation of bodybuilding knowledge that he has acquired over his 4 years of training, in which Zyzz asserted that it had helped build up his brand, and it was ultimately possible the use of social media. Hey. On July 2011, said chest bra was arrested for possession of juice, to which he pleaded guilty after Zyzz's passing, which is extremely unfortunate. And when asked by the Daily Telegraph, Zyzz denied ever using steroids, and they said the physique was a result of hard work in the gym and a strict diet. And from what he claims, according to the Sydney Morning Herald, the company which employs Seversian and stripper maintained that he was a lovely guy. Aside from the steroids, Seversian often used phrases such as riding bicycles, which according to the Daily Telegraph is gym slang for using the cycle of the juice. Now, on August 5th of 2011, Zyzz unfortunately suffered a heart attack in a sauna while on vacation in Pattaya. And Pattaya is basically in Thailand, in which he was taken to the hospital, where tragically doctors weren't able to revive them. Family and friends placed news of the tragic passing on Facebook, in which his tragic death was confirmed on August 9th, 2011 by the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia. His autopsy revealed a previously undiagnosed congenital heart defect and cardiomegaly, which triggered cardiac arrest. And they say that he has minor symptoms in the few months leading up to August 2011, including high blood pressure and cases of shortness of breath, in which he had the family history of heart problems. Now, the steroids actually linked to that. It could possibly be. We don't fully know for sure. And he tragically passed away at the age of 22. Now, how he built a legacy up in the fitness world, right? Zyzz's death was the 6th most searched death related topic in Australia during the 2011 year. Prior to that, Zyzz is supposed to view himself on the social media networking site, which later come out on 18th on 9 News' top news videos of the year for 2011, which is an Australian commercial free-to-air TV network. Over 2011 to 2012 Google statistics shows he searched as many times as Julia Gillard, the Prime Minister of Australia at the time. Now, New Year's Day 2012 field day, people dressed up as Zyzz as a tribute to him. And Zyzz's brother, Chess Bra, created a 19-minute review for Zyzz, basically titled The Legacy, and released it on YouTube on 2012, which has been trending the charts on YouTube from late March to early April of 2012. 10 years later, the video has over 15 million views, and with Zyzz's father still frequently posts 2 videos dedicated to him, with a lot of them collecting over 1 million views. Now, at one point, Zyzz's face-to-face had 450,000, 15,767 likes. April 2012, Daily Telegraph, known as fan page, has over 399,671 fans, before becoming active months later. Now in 2013, with the Wentworth Courier, they have articles published online that disappeared into the void since 2011, which the C story continued to be read frequently and appears in a daily list of most clicked on articles in the Wentworth Courier website. Now we got organized crime control on the underground steroid trade. Reporter Mark Wilsey called Zyzz the pinup boy but the bodybuilding crowd. And in November 2022, Flume covered Bad Greatest Song Student Stars with Chess Bra, and for the Triple J's, like a version which basically is the Australian radio station. And they enter from behind Flume and muzzles out the dance Zyzz made famous in honor of his younger brother. Zyzz, may you rest in peace, dog. Shame.
What the fuck did I do to you? What the fuck did I do to you? You're fucking right now. You're fucking right. You bad, bro?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now we do have some speculation with the steroid use here that actually just dug up in core, right? And they got all the speculation that you see up here from all these other dudes. So what you see below, right, is basically other people that actually understand sports science institutes. You see one dude basically saying, I'm sure he took it, but what makes me sad is when these athletes die and people never blame the real cause, the juice. They always say it was an underlying heart condition or something else, but never the juice, right? And here we go, if we scroll below, right? No, he only used swallowing parts of Paul due to muscularity. I don't know if that's part of the juice, which we know. As we scroll around, and you see a photo here that has the juice of Deca 50 here. And let me try to get a pause and try to see what that is. And I just found that out. As you can see, we have Deca 50 being an actual anabolic steroid, which is basically the juice, right? Which we know that actually confirms and shown below. So let's try to go continue to see what they say here. And you see basically Zyzz have the Deca 50 literally injected up on his ass, if I'm not mistaken. So now they say yes, he did as well with the evidence. They got the buttocks in there. You know, even with steroids, you know, they still have to be dealing with a certain amount of training, but the health risk is still there. You can cut years out your life, unfortunately, which is a shame. And you can literally scroll down below over the period of time, and they have other people that actually did these things personally as well, right? Because they have basically the one dude that actually has some issues when it comes with steroid use with him personally, basically being the roided iron pumper. You know, it can vary from person to person. That doesn't really mean that person is good or bad, but how it can affect the human body. It can affect each individual body very differently depending on how that body operates, right? And that's the unfortunate part of this whole ordeal. And you can actually try to see some of the stuff for yourself to core as well. And you got so much stuff that you see there, and we don't even know what's natural now, because I'm not a professional personal trainer. I'm not a professional nutritionist at all. You know, you could basically try to look for a personal trainer for these things, which is a sin and a shame. But I will be actually digging more deeper into my personal ordeal and how certain nerds end up turning into iron pumpers to try and achieve some of the results that they have, and whether it's like natural or roided and all the other stuff, you know. Can he actually like do the whole bodybuilding without actually taking the roids? Absolutely. We could definitely all do that, but we all make mistakes. Zyzz has made his mistakes that unfortunately cost him his life tragically, and we could definitely learn from the mistakes that Zyzz made so that we could become better versions ourselves, and even better than Zyzz, you know. And this is one of the ordeals, one of the unfortunate tragedies and consequences if you continue going down the roided path, right? So again, even though this is 10 years, you know, away from this whole ordeal, 11 years actually, my deepest condolences go out to his brother. My deepest condolences out to his family members as well as his closest friends during this unspeakable tragedy. And hopefully many of us can learn from the tragedy that we speak and basically how to prepare better from these types of ordeals. I will come back with another video actually discussing the whole ordeal when it comes with iron pumping. So please be on the lookout for that. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, click the notification bell for future uploads or updates. Gone.
I'll just grab one ice cream cone, please. Yep.
Just one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Just one ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Yep.
She said drive through 2 minutes ago. Like a smash can.